What's up, you guys? Justin Rivas here. We're talking review about this, the Panasonic 35-100. This thing's a beast. I really like it. If all you wanted to know is whether I liked it or not, I like it, so you can move on. But if you want to hear a little bit more, we'll keep going. Let's talk a little bit about not all of the tech specs, just the ones you need to care about. Again, I said 35-100 millimeter. That means that it's a zoom lens. It zooms in really far. It's a 70-200 millimeter equivalent on full frame. If you care about such things with a 2x crop factor on the G7, if you don't know what that means, it just zooms a long ways. 2.8 aperture, that means that it's going to work really well in low light as the opening's getting very large to let a lot of light in. And the other benefit of that is that the background gets real blurry. And so you're going to get some separation away. Now, again, not as much as like a full frame camera, that's where it came from. It's half as much background blur, meaning on a full frame you'd have to be about 5.6 to get the same amount. And so obviously you can blur the background a lot harder on full frame, but that's not why you have this kind of micro four thirds system. You have it because it's compact, it's lightweight, it's fantastic on video, and this lens is relatively lightweight. For the lenses, it's heavy, but it's right around just over 300 grams, which means it's still pretty easy for carrying around in a bag. Size-wise, not too bad. It's nice because it's not a breather lens. A breather lens is like this guy. When you move this, it goes whoop, 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 whoop. This one, it doesn't do that. It just, as you move it, nothing. It's all internal moving. That means it's not going to suck in dust and other things, which it's also weather sealed. So if you take it in the elements with something like a GH3, GH4, or the new G85 that's coming out to replace the G7, it's going to be okay. What else can we say about it? It's got this really nice thick rubber focusy ring, and that makes it really easy to grip onto. Has the power OIS. That means you're going to get 4 stops of image stabilization. If you're from photography land, you probably knows what that means. If you're in video land, it basically means that it just has more image stabilization than something like this. This is the 45-150, and it has the Mega OIS, and that does 3 stops of image stabilization. So I guess maybe this means this has 25% more. If you want to know the like techie details of that, when you're shooting with a camera, you have to keep a certain shutter speed, or else if your hands are shaky and your shutter speed's too low, your photos are going to be blurry. With image stabilization, what that allows you to do is basically knock your shutter speed down 4 full stops, thus allowing a lot more light in, and you can either take your ISO down or I guess adjust your aperture, or it gives you just, you know, a few more options there. For your video shooters out there, it doesn't make a whole lot of difference on the light side because you know what your shutter speed's going to be, but where it's really nice is just simply when you're hand holding it and you don't want it to be, your footage to be shaky. I was actually blown away by how well this does. Let's talk briefly about photos. I'll roll a few up on the screen here. You're going to see a lot of, you're basically going to see concert photos and concert video because that's what I was shooting with this thing. And photo-wise, you know, I really liked how it was able to separate the person from the background. It was able to be in these low light situations. Concert photography is actually pretty difficult because the lighting is all over the map. You don't know what's going to be well lit or not well lit. Lots of times the performers are well lit, but still not that crazy well lit like in bright sunlight or daylight or something like that. And so having a 2.8 aperture is really nice because, you know, you're able to separate them from the background. You're also able to let in a lot of light. These are also like JPEG photos. Like I didn't shoot RAW because they were going straight over to my phone and up to social media, and that doesn't work on RAW right now. So, you know, just from JPEGs with like very minor edits, some of them may not even have edits, just whatever settings I have set in the camera, the photos turned out nice. Contrast is nice, colors are nice. You know, the stabilization, I guess, you know, worked. Obviously the performers are moving, so I was having to keep that shutter speed up a little bit, but I really like it for photos. Flipping over to video, the thing I was honestly just so amazed by was you were able to hand hold video. Like at first I thought, I doubt I'll be able to hand hold at 100 millimeters. Yeah, no, I was able to. Now, I mean, the footage isn't like rock solid, but if you had like a good tripod, obviously it would be, but I was just like running around, run, gun, trying to get some shots, and it worked out really well. The thing with any image stabilization system is like, don't try and pan with it on because the image stabilization doesn't really know. Now, something like I know this G7 has is you can turn off the image stabilization horizontally and it'll only stabilize vertically, so you can pan, and it's just going to take out the ups and downs, but it's going to let you pan smoothly. But just something to be aware of. Now, this one's nice because it's just got the switch, so if you know you want to do that, flick the switch, off you go. But yeah, overall for video, I was very, very, very impressed. Now, I guess the big thing to choose between is you can get the 45 to 150 for probably like a quarter of the price of the 35 to 100. How do you pick between these two? Well, obviously budget is going to be a big thing. If you can't afford this lens, don't buy this lens. Buy this lens. I bought this one used for like $175 Canadian, basically nothing. And this lens honestly works. I shot vlog 100 and something, the Labor Day Classic one at the football game with this lens. And, you know, it was great for that because it was outdoors and I didn't really care about really separating the person from the background. I just wanted to catch some football action from up in the stands. And this one has a little bit more reach because it's 150 millimeters, whereas this one only goes to 100. But if you're in any situations where you need light, like you're in a dark spot, then this thing is not going to compete. This is f4 to 5.6, especially once you start zooming, you're basically letting in half as much light as this one. I think that's, you know, probably the biggest thing. This only has the Mega OIS, which is 3 stops, and this one has 4 stops. This one is more stable handheld. You know, and I mean, this one, like, I can't tell. It seems like it's metal. Might be just hard plastic. This one's probably built a lot better. You can tell from the weight, it's got better glass in it. It's got the nano surface coating, which is good for, I think, protecting the lens and probably doing a couple other things that I can't remember off the top of my head. So anyway, budget-wise, these aren't really comparable because this one can blow out the background and work much better in low light. If all you need is a zoom lens and you don't care about that, then sure, buy this. It'll be fine. But if you're looking for professional results, you want this one. Anyway, I think that's about it. Comments, drop them below. You're using this, drop it below. Want to hear how you guys are enjoying the lens. As always, appreciate a like or subscribe. I'm Justin Rivas. Thanks for watching.